Hi Capricorn, welcome to your September 2020 Astrology 33 love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as personal readings go, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a break from those, probably at least for the next month, but if I do change my mind, I'll make an update in the community section of the channel. As far as what we have in front of us, we have a Bridging the Gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it is a general reading, so while I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy, if you feel more like that seems like the other person's energy and the cards on the right represent your energy, then definitely trust that as well. Alright? So, starting with the past energy on your side, we have the Eight of Cups. So this is Pisces energy here, and usually what this represents is actually leaving a connection behind and going for something more fulfilling. You know, maybe emotionally you felt like your needs weren't necessarily being met. What stands out to me with the artwork for this Eight of Cups in particular is it looks like we see the hearts and the other cups look like they're filled in, and then this one seems to be a different color, so it's almost to me like it's blank. So you could have just come to that realization that, you know, okay, maybe you were ready for something a bit more serious than this person was, so that might have been why you decided to leave it behind. You know, it's a few different reasons that could have been taking place, but yeah, could have been some communication around that as well, given that for you guys Pisces is your house of communication. Past energy on their side, we have the Tower and the Knight of Swords. So this is a Gemini energy here, and I could see this playing out a couple different ways actually, maybe even a few. But alright, so let me just go through them. One way I could see this playing out is that for some of you, I feel like they might have accused you of being involved in some kind of a third party dynamic. If that's the case, I'm not necessarily sure that was the case, but the reason I say that is with the Knight of Swords energy, these two cards together gives me that feeling that someone might see something and then jump to conclusions about what it was, right, with that Knight of Swords energy. For some of you, might have even been during the Venus retrograde that was taking place in Gemini, or possibly just in Gemini season in general. And then another way I could see this playing out is maybe it was that for some of you, like I was saying with that Eight of Cups energy, maybe you did start to go to a connection off on the side, and then that might have caused a Tower moment when they found out about that. See if anything else comes to mind with this. And for others of you, it could have just been one of those things where, again, if you did leave, maybe that caused a Tower moment for them, where they might have felt betrayed in some way, and there could have been some harsh communication behind that at that point. So that's what I see there. Now, the present energy on your side, we have the Seven of Arrows in reverse. So I'll just put in the upright while we talk about it. So this is Aquarius energy here. And if we look at her facial expression, she just looks really disappointed. And she's leaving this person behind, right? But then those two arrows is still there. So to me, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe the foundation of the relationship is kind of still there, but obviously there's other things going on in their mind. But with this in reverse, I feel like this is saying that there could be some guilt going on there, and maybe you actually do come back around to this person. So, you know, it could just be one of those things where maybe you felt like you had some doubts, and, you know, maybe you felt like the way you might have left in the past wasn't the best. So with that Seven of Arrows in reverse could just represent you actually coming back, you know, because with the Seven of Swords in the upright, it kind of represents walking away from the situation. So seeing it in reverse could say that you guys might actually come back around to the situation. Present energy on their side, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy, the Fool, and then the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. So really, the Ten of Pentacles and the Hierophant both represent stability in some ways, both Earth energy as well, and then you have the Fool card, excuse me, in the middle of that. So What I could see happening here is, especially with this Ten of Pentacles in particular, there's that mirror there. So that makes me think of a mirroring type thing. So what I can see this representing for some of you could just be saying that in a way they need you to take the lead a little bit. And if you were to present to them that, hey, I'm looking for something serious, right? I feel like that's saying that they'll actually take that leap of faith and try to, meet you on that path toward a serious connection as well. Another way this could be playing out could just be saying that, traditionally speaking, maybe they've just been accustomed to having multiple relationships going on at one time. That's another way. I feel that's less likely for the majority of you, but that's at least a possibility I'm seeing for some of you. But yeah, what I see most likely being the scenario is this is just representing some growth for this person. Like, okay, Capricorn's coming along, they, seem to want something serious, right? And then they take that leap of faith and go that route with you as well. And for you guys too, Capricorn does represent your fifth house of romance and creativity. So could just be saying that now we have Uranus going retrograde. That might have settled the energy for you guys in the connection. So that's what I see there. And future energy on your side, we have power, which is actually the equivalent of the Emperor in traditional tarot, so Aries energy. Wisdom, which is the equivalent of the High Priestess, which I view as Pisces energy. And Seven of Coins, which is actually more Taurus energy. So kind of seeing this as what I was referring to in the present on their side, but what I mean by that is, to me, with power, this is saying you being very sure of what you want. And like I said, for a lot of you, I feel like that's a serious, stable commitment, right? And like I said, that's probably what you wanted in the past too, but you might have just felt like this person, maybe their maturity level wasn't quite there for you. So you're like, yeah, I don't know if this is the person. And then, like I said, it seems like you might have reconsidered that. Keep in mind we also had that Mercury retrograde not too long ago in Cancer, which is your opposite sign. So that might have been around the time too, where you guys might have had some doubts around the connection. But with this here, I feel like this is saying that, this is you steadfast and, hey, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for. You're unwavering in that regard. But I feel like you're really just observing this person, like, okay, I'm going to put it on the line, let them know this is what I'm looking for, and then kind of see, I feel like underneath it all, with the wisdom, the high priestess energy, underneath it all, you're expecting them to not measure up, right? Like the way I see that is the two people there. Looks like she's kind of looking down on them, right? Like, okay, I don't necessarily know if this person will come through, but I feel like, so it's kind of like you're taking a chance on them in a way. So like we saw the Fool card in their present energy, I feel like you're in a similar way taking a gamble on them too. Like, all right, this is what I want, I'm going to let them know. I don't really know if they can pull it off, right? Seeing them as that Seven of Pentacles energy, but, I'll just observe and see what happens. So that's what I see for you guys in a future position. And future energy on their side is the Queen of Chalices. So this is actually the equivalent of the Queen of Cups, which is Cancer energy, which for you guys is your opposite sign. So to me, this is saying that, they might actually surprise you. Again, that's what I'm feeling primarily here, is that, it looks like they might have gone through some growth, maybe both of you, quite frankly, because like I said, if you were in that Eight of Cups energy and then deciding, okay, I do want something serious, and coming back around with this person, could have just been a timing thing for you guys in the past. But here with the Queen of Chalices, I do see that there is genuine desire to connect with you. And like I said, given that that represents your opposite sign, I do see them actually wanting a bit of a serious commitment with you guys. All right. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Four of Cups. So this is actually Cancer energy here too, which could just be saying that this was just your disposition in general with your relationships, right? Where, let's say, each of those cups represent connections you might have had and just feeling unfulfilled with those connections. Again, like I said, given it to your opposite sign, definitely to me points to the relationship theme, right? And she has her back turned to the cards on this side too. So this can represent that this is just your disappointment with them in general that you've gone through, or just, like I said, just beyond them. Like I said, you might have went out there to see what else was out there and realized, okay, you know what? This is just kind of the types of people that I'm dealing with for whatever reason. So maybe you decide, all right, well, maybe I will give this a person another chance. So that's what I'm seeing there. And then the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Five of Swords. So in traditional tarot, I would definitely see this as a negative, where, Five of Swords in traditional tarot usually points to someone getting into a petty argument where they know that nothing positive is going to come out of it, yet they still engage in it anyway. But here in this deck, it refers more to actually taking a risk. So to me, that again points to that fool energy where, like I said, for them, maybe it wasn't their thing to necessarily be in a serious, stable connection. But I feel like now they're actually going to take that chance with you guys. So that's what I see there. We'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix, though. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck here. I did pre-shuffle the deck, so what I'm going to be looking for here is just some jumpers. First, I'll see if we have any unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if we shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, I'll just move on to the next Oracle deck since it's just a general reading, but we'll see if we get anything. Okay, nothing coming up there, so I'll check and see if we have any unspoken messages from them to you now. Almost had one there. Okay, it doesn't seem like anything's coming up there either, so we'll move on to the next deck, which is the Wisdom of the Oracle. Same situation, I did pre-shuffle this deck, but here we're just going to be looking for one card and we'll wrap up. Well, okay. Whoa, that's actually a lot of cards that flipped over, so let me keep shuffling, because we'd be here all day if I read all those. Alright, in worst case, if I don't get a single jumper, I'll just put the deck down, we'll pull a random card, but we'll shuffle a little longer. Okay, there we go. You guys got Truth to Be Told. There's the artwork, and the number is 14. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, it says honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. So yeah, I do kind of feel like that is a bit of a theme there that we talked about already, but we'll see what else it says. The Oracle's message says there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is, peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and Spirit will answer with miracles. So, interesting wording there. It made me think about, well, the part about which truth is truer? That made me think, like I was saying, for some of you, this might have been something where they might have accused you of doing something, and then, there could have been some harsh communication around that, right? And maybe for some of you really were doing something, but for the majority of you, I feel like it was more them jumping to a conclusion, right? Now, maybe on the one hand, you were losing interest, for example, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you were dealing with someone else. You could have just been having your doubts about the connection in general. But I do feel like there was some kind of disconnect in the communication between the two of you in the past. With the Seven of Swords in the reverse here, I feel like that could represent for some of you actually do express, hey, this is what's on my mind, this is what I'm looking for. And like I said, they're on their end too. It looks like they actually will step up, which I do feel like, quite frankly, would surprise you a bit because I don't necessarily feel like you have all that much faith that they would. But hopefully that all resonated rather. And then the relationship message says people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you this card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. So definitely an interesting message there as well. And I do have to say, it's certainly possible that for some of you, what you might end up coming to the conclusion on is, maybe this is you saying that, well, this is what I want. I'm definitely going to go for that. I'm not going to settle for anything less. All right, I'll watch this person. And maybe for a small percentage of you, it might end up being that, yeah, this is the reality that you see in them. Like, okay, maybe they're putting in the effort, but they're not quite at my level, right? That could be how it works out for some of you. Like I said, I really do feel like it's more one of those things where you guys just, on both sides, I feel like there might not have been clear communication of what's what within the connection. And I feel like what that's saying there with the clear communication, honest communication, is that, if you actually are a bit open with them, you might be surprised to see that they actually will put in that effort and surprise you and come through with that serious connection you're looking for. So we'll wrap up there, guys. Hopefully that resonated with you, and I'll see you all next month. All right? Bye.